Buongiorno, buonasera, benvenuti amici. Welcome, my friends. My name is Vincenzo and welcome to my channel, Fountain Pen Therapy. I have a pen review, but we're back down to earth here, folks. I mean, it's enough with these Grail pens. There's very expensive. They take us to a different world. I agree. They provide enormous writing experience, but you know what? There are some nice little gems that I find in the Chinese pen market that sometimes offer great experience and lots of pleasure at a much more reasonable price. And I think we should shift gears and take a look at exactly one of those pens. Now, will it prove to be what I hope it is? It's certainly a good looking pen, and I've been eyeing it for quite a while, and then I decided to pull the trigger on this pen. It is the TRAMOL vacuum filler that you see, or that you will see in this box. It's a demonstrator. It's got a great looking design, maybe a little deja vu. I hope that box nib provides me with some writing pleasure, and finally at a reasonable price. Stay tuned. So this pen comes in this box, nothing pretentious, very simple, something we've seen before, sort of. I'm not sure what the Chinese lettering there stands for, but I have to assume it's the Chinese version of the English slogan here, born for pen lovers. There's something here at the bottom that I'm not able to recognize. I would not be surprised if that says TRAMOL. There's a inventory sticker there. We open the box, and very simple, nice, efficient packaging. This is going to help with the eyedroppering, I guess, or filling up of the pen, although it is a vacuum filler. But you can always use this, I guess, to top it up. And here is the pen. I think it's a very attractive pen, so let's get to review this in detail. You know what? The first thing that stands out and what I liked about this pen and what attracted me to it is this combination of this matte demo acrylic with this black trimming. The black trimming that you see on this clip along with the little ring, the clip ring. You've got another band there. And of course, TRAMOL written right at the bottom there. In terms of what's inscribed in writing, that's about it. There is a nice black nib underneath there, and we'll take a look at that in a second. So that's the first thing that stands out. Now, the feel of this pen is really, really nice. That matte finish, I think, is just very, very appropriate and probably distinguishes it from many other demonstrator pens that one can think of, a few of which I've chosen for my pen comparison. So that is the pen on the outside. As you can see, I like this finial, a very solid acrylic there. You can see the TRAMOL name etched there. Nice springy clip, the nice big ball, beautiful black ring there. It is a vacuum filler, so we can open that up, and we'll take a look at that as soon as I open up the cap. There's not much else to speak of in terms of its general look. There you have it. It's a complete clear pen, even though there is that matte acrylic, and I think it's the matte acrylic that attracted me to this pen. Oh, let's just see how many turns it takes to open this pen. That's 1. That's 1.5. That's 2. So approximately 2 to reveal. It has a Bock fine nib, black one. Very nice, I think. Works really nice with this pen. The piston, the vacuum is there. Appears to work very functionally. In terms of being able to remove this, it does have a notch here, a flat notch. So I'm assuming that other tools that I have for piston fillers will fit in. I didn't measure to see which one fits. Maybe I should, and maybe when I take just a brief break, I'll come back and let you know which one fits from the series of tools that I do have. In terms of pressure, well, there appears to be enough pressure there. I guess we'll see when we ink it up. I'm just going to give it one go to give you an idea how much it fills up on the first shot. And I know there are tricks to be able to fill it to the top, including, I guess, topping it up with that eyedropper, eyedropper syringe sort of, or that we have a pipette that is provided with the pen. In terms of comfort, very comfortable. You can feel the weight of that vacuum filling system, which provides it a nice, it just kind of sits there really nicely. Very, in terms of length, I think it's a reasonable length, as you can tell. It's not a huge oversized pen, but it's not a small or medium. I think it's anywhere between medium and large. Does it post? It posts, but it sits on that just at the top there, kind of uncomfortably, if you will. Yeah, I guess you can push it in and tolerate it, but as you can see, it's bent. It doesn't sit there nice. So I don't believe this pen is meant for posting. And frankly, as you know, for those who've been watching my channel, I don't post my pens in any event, but those of you who do, this might be a deal breaker. So there you have it. Very nice. I think the next thing that we need to do here is take a look at these. Well, the section is very smooth. The rings are very smooth in here. Not a problem, really nice. It doesn't appear to have a chamber, a half chamber there that would lock in that nib from sealing. But on the other hand, I guess the seal comes from the entire cap. Only time will tell. There is 2.5 rings to open it, or 2. Did we say? Was it 2 or was it 2.5? 1. Yeah, 2. So I guess that's sufficient to create kind of a seal. Does it line up? Not perfectly. I think you have to play around with it. In other words, the nib doesn't, depending on how you screw it in and where you start, etc., it gives you varying results. Maybe there's a way to do it to get it to line up, but it looks like it's one of those that don't line up. For those of you who absolutely makes a difference, so that could be a deal breaker, but it certainly isn't for me. So there you have it. I think it's a nice little pen, and I'm looking forward to inking it up and doing a writing sample. But before we do that, let's do some comparisons. I've pulled out a series of pens here, and we'll take a look at each and see how they compare. Okay, so we'll put the subject pen right at the top there. Now, what did I choose? Well, let me just get my, do I have it handy here? I don't have my pointer handy, but I'll use this pencil. There you go. Okay, so that's a subject pen. This is a Conklin. I believe it's a Durograph model. No, it's a limited edition. Mark Twain. Okay, there you have it with kind of an old sort of filling system here. Frankly, I think I've inked this pen once. I've never really used it, but I guess it should form part of my pen resurrections. Maybe it will this week, and we'll take a look at it. After so many years, I think I've had that pen for almost a decade, and I think I inked it up once and never used it again. Opus 88, just because of that filling system. But now that I've been, dabbling in vintage pens, I don't think that I will mind so much. So we'll take a look at that. This is the famous Opus 88. I think the bigger size. You can tell that this is much bigger, both in girth and length. I think it's got a similar kind of design for the clip. In other words, a big black clip with a nice ball there, with the name Opus 88 in black, except here it's TRAMOL. This is a clear, it's not a matte finish, much bigger, and this is not a vacuum filler. This is a vacuum filler. This is the Asvine V200. This is the, and I forget the model, but this is the Mnemosine. And frankly, I tried to look up the model, but I couldn't find it. This too hasn't seen daylight in quite a while, and maybe will form part of my this week's recap. We'll take a look. And this is this Majon C4, which again is a completely different design, much bigger in girth. And you can see that the Majon does have a kind of a chamber there for capping it and securing that seal that I do not see in the TRAMOL. Does the Opus have it? Yes, the Opus has it as well. I see that the Asvine has that chamber as well. The Mnemosine doesn't, and the Mark Twain Conklin does, which is good news, because one of the things I just hate about Conklin pens is that they just dry up on you really quickly, which is too bad, because I think they have some very nice offerings, and the nib after a day gets dry and becomes essentially useless, or you have to prime it every time, and so you kind of shy away when it comes time to choosing a pen to write with. So there you have the pens capped. Here are the pens uncapped. You can see the nice length on that TRAMOL. Let me just put it there. That's it. It kind of compares really nicely to both the Asvine and the Opus 88, which are huge pens. The girth is very different. I think it's a much thinner pen. But, for those of you who believe that this huge pen, Opus 88, is a little too big, and it's leaking a little bit, I apologize for that. That went with me on a trip, and I've got a feeling some of the ink spilled there. This is a much thinner. I think it's still comfortable. It does have that flare, but it is thinner. For those of you who appreciate a much thinner section, well, there you have it. Bigger than the Mnemosine and equivalent to the Majon, I would say, except, again, the girth is the big difference. So those are the pens uncapped. I'm not going to do a comparison of the pens posted, because the subject pen doesn't post, so there's no point, okay? And frankly, none of these pens are really great posters, other than I would anticipate the Conklin Mark Twain, and even that is kind of top-heavy. The Mnemosine, I think, posts, but the others are not good posters. So there you have it, and we've done the pen comparison. I'll put up some measurements, and it gives you a better idea in terms of the size of this pen, and then we'll get to the writing sample. Be right back. Okay, first thing, before we get to the writing sample, I promised that I would take out some of the tools that I have already in stock, Majon, Ogden, etc., to see which one kind of fits. These are the tools that we get these days with the Asvine V200, which has several notches, and let me just see which one fits. If there's one here that fits the bill. Yeah. So if you've ordered an Asvine before, this tool does have one of them that fits. Does the TWSBI fit? This is kind of too small. Does the other side do the trick? No, Asvine won't work. What about Ongdian? Well, Ongdian actually is a completely different mechanism. But let me just see what else I have here. Is this the Majon? Does it say? No, it doesn't. So there's no point in me showing you this one because you won't be able to guess what it is. Took a TWSBI. I thought I had more here, but I guess not. Oh, here it is. No, that's one that wouldn't fit. Yeah, oh, I think the Asvine one is the one that would fit most. I have others, but these are from expensive pen. This is from De Joya, and it's too big. So I think you should stick. I believe that this is the one I got with Majon, but because that one fits. But having said all of that, there you have it. I think if you ordered the Asvine V200, you'll be able to use the same tool to undo that vacuum filling system. Okay, so let's ink this up and do the writing sample. Okay, in terms of the ink, here's a brand new ink that I think I'm going to feature in the next weekly recap. It's an ink that just came out, another addition to the 1670 Jacques Herbin anniversary series, I guess. This is Turquoise de Perse. So 1670. It looks like it's a turquoise with a little bit of gold shimmer. Very similar to the new, what is it, the Pelican blue lapis, I believe it is. But we'll see how this thing writes. These days I'm really attracted by turquoise for some reason. Okay, not much of a fill, but I would say to you probably more than I've been getting out of my Asvines. There you have it. Halfway with your first shot. So swishing there, swishing around. Let's clean this up. Put that away. We'll cap it. Put this here. Close this ink before I spill everything everywhere. Take out my notebook. Now, in terms of the notebook, you might be wondering, what is that? Well, I guess those who wonder what it is you haven't watched one of my videos where I reviewed this pen. This is a journal that I bought in Rome at an outfit by the name of Manufactus. I will put it up, if I remember, I will put it up or put it down in the description where you can buy that. It comes with this notebook, and I've been writing with this notebook, which is okay. It's not my favorite paper, but it is, fountain pen friendly. I can tell you can write on both sides. It's kind of a roughish paper, and some pens don't like it. I found that some of my pens had a tendency to kind of skip on me because of this paper. Now, I don't know, is it because it's sensitive to the skin oils, a little bit like Cosmo Air, perhaps. But I know that lately it gave me some spotting where the pen wasn't cooperating. So I kind of got fed up with it and took it out of its. And the beauty about this journal is that you can use this beautiful cover, which is a mixture of leather and hard, and I put in it one of my Tomo River journals. So, in fact, this is the journal I used when I went on vacation, and which I'm going to continue to use. It's kind of become what I call my YouTube journal, where I jot down some of my thoughts about ideas. Some of my writing samples will go in here. Also, in terms of statistics on my YouTube channel, what worked and what didn't work, comments that gave me some ideas for future episodes, etc., etc. So that's it, and it comes in this beautiful journal, so it will last forever, I think. Okay, so back to the writing sample. Let's get this done. Okay, here we go. So this is the TRAMOL. I shouldn't have put a kind of a line there, but it's a T, not an F. TRAMOL. There's no other name for it. Let me just notice. Yeah, let me get closer. TRAMOL, I'm going to call it vacuum filler. And it's a demonstrator. The nib is a Bach number 6 steel fine nib, and it's black. The ink is the Jacques Herbin 1670 series, and I just want to get this right. Turquoise de Perse. So I guess that translates into Persian turquoise, or turquoise of Prussia. Okay, so of Persia. Here we go. Now, in terms of wetness, not bad. Fine. It's a fine, but it's a real nail, so it's nail stiff. And I always find these black nibs kind of less flexy. I don't believe you can get any. I mean, you get a darker ink, but you're not getting any line variation there at all. It is fairly consistent, however. Is it smooth? It's kind of got a I guess you can call it a pencil feedback. A little more than a pencil feedback. Because I get the sensation that this ink is kind of a drier ink, which is unusual for these Jacques Herbin inks. But I just, that's the sensation I'm getting. I don't feel that the wetness of that ink and the smoothness of it. It is smooth, don't get me wrong. I don't feel it, it's not, it's just such a stiff nib. And maybe that's the fact that I've been spoiled with all those flex nibs. The Pineider quill nib and the Mag 600, flex nib and all these other flexi nibs that I've been using almost on a daily basis, having such a ball with them over the last weeks and months. In fact, from the moment I bought one on my vacation, that writing with just a stiff nib, or even a normal nib for that matter, has become a chore for me. But it just goes to show you how your tastes change overnight when you get different types of pens with different writing experiences. Reverse writing, no, it doesn't work. Maybe partly because of that ink. I find that this ink is fairly dry, and it kind of dries up on you quickly. Is it because of the shimmer that's in there with a fine nib? Maybe so. So that's it. But otherwise, very, very nice writing experience. Fast writing. Doesn't skip on you. So, likes and dislikes. Likes, I like the design. I like the quality. The quality is very good. I got to tell you, very nicely built pen. Can't find really anything. I'm not a technical engineer like Doodlebutt. Maybe you'll find something wrong with it, but in my opinion, it works quite fine here, and it looks good. I like that matte finish. I like the fact that it's a vacuum filler. Now, what the dislikes, I think, is the price. This thing is going for 80 Canadian on AliExpress, probably equivalent sum on Etsy. I haven't checked recently, which translates what 80, 60 will give me 90. So what, $55 to $60 US? And like I said in previous videos, maybe this is just the price that we're going to have to get used to from Chinese pens, other than Jinhao, who continue to maintain very low pricing. And some of these high prices for Chinese pens have kind of discouraged people. But, you know, this thing is as good, if not better, than a TWSBI. I prefer it over a TWSBI, I've got to tell you. And maybe I should have compared it to TWSBI. It's certainly very nice. It beats that Conklin. Does it rival the Opus? Maybe not. Opus 88 is a beautiful, much oversized pen. Is it equivalent to that Majon, this Majon C4? I would say so. I would say so. Different style. This is kind of cigar, girthier pen, and this is kind of a thinner pen. But in terms of quality and design, you know what? It very, very similar. Very, very similar. Now, don't forget, you are also getting a Bock nib. You're not getting a Chinese nib, although these days there's no shame in getting a Chinese nib. I find the Asvine nibs really, really nice. The Majon nibs, at least in my opinion, as far as my experience are concerned, are quite good, and sometimes need a little tuning, but with very simple tuning, you can get them to give you quite a bit of a writing experience, for a steel nib. So there you have it. So price and the nib, of course, here I would have to put it as a like, because it is a Bock. But frankly, I would have preferred the Bock Chrome, which I find has a lot more spring than this black coated Bock nib. Maybe it's just me. There you have it. Is it a go-to pen in terms of would I be using this pen on a daily basis? I don't see why not. I don't think it's something that I would jump for necessarily, but I would give it about an 8 on 10. But it's able to do the job. Note-taking, agenda, to-do lists. Is it a pen that you would have some fun with? Nah. I think this is a pen that you would use. You want it to be practical. It has a big ink chamber, so you can fill lots of ink in there. You can, of course, lock it up with that mechanism. You all know that. You can just screw it in, and it becomes a good traveler if you're traveling to either warm place or on a plane where there could be some pressure changes. Then this pen would work. And if you don't want to bring along your Opus 88, which is a little more expensive than this one, or a more expensive vacuum filler, like an A23, for example, a custom Pilot Custom A23, well, this would do the trick. And, in terms of girth, it would rival that Pilot Custom A23. Not with the nib, but certainly with the shape. So there you have it. That's my review. I just want to sign it. And just switch over. There you have it. The TRAMOL vacuum filler. I think it's a good addition. I've seen the TRAMOL's got other interesting pens in the mix. I might be ordering 1 or 2 of those. There's a TRAMOL that looks like I guess it's a Sailor Pro Gear. There's also a new TRAMOL that's just come out that I'm going to take a look at and maybe feature in my next weekly recap. But there you have it, the TRAMOL vacuum filler demonstrator, matte finish with a Bock nibs. Not a bad buy, but the price. So if you have other priorities, this may not do the trick. For me, it's worth the price. I think the $80, we're going to have to get used to these prices. and it's a pen that I think I will be able to factor into my usage. So there you have it. Grazie molto. Thank you very much. Please subscribe. A lot of you watch but don't subscribe. I need some subscriber, guys. I think I'm at 4,900 something. I want to get to that 5,000 point, which I think I'm very proud of. I'm approaching it. You know, I've barely been on the air for about a year. So guys, subscribe in a bunch. Let's get to that 5,000 real quick. Okay. Thank you very much. Grazie. Have a great week. Enjoy your pens. Fountain pen therapy for all of us. Ciao.